So recently a couple of videos came into my view on YouTube, and it's this guy called Dan, and he's in our conversations he's asked me to do this video, what I hope to do here now, discussing a couple of words and their pronunciation and the whole context about them, because Dan, he's got a channel on here on YouTube, supposedly teaching Ulster Gaelic to learners. Dan is a funny guy. I liked his videos. He's got some witty little things. He's very laid back. Obviously an interesting character. Looks the part, acts the part. But unfortunately, like almost everyone else supposedly teaching Gaelic on YouTube and on TikTok and on all the social media, his pronunciation is abysmal. Now, this always bugs me when I see it, but I've kind of learned to turn a blind eye and let it go and let it go. But now and again, I think of those learners and all of the trouble they're going to learn this beautiful language we speak, Gaelic, and a very endangered language, and language that needs more speakers who speak it well. And I think all the trouble they're going to, and they're being knocked back by this false information, as clearly Dan was. He's not aware of it, or maybe he's becoming aware of it. That's what happened to Dan believes he speaks correct Gaelic because the same thing would have happened to him. He would have come across teachers who assured him that these were the pronunciations, and he's carrying on these terrible pronunciations, all the phonemes mixed up and backwards and wrong. So, of course, as I said, it's hardly his fault. But when you then take on the role of a teacher, you do need to do your due diligence and find out how right you're speaking or not. Anyway, we had a couple of back and forths over this. I was pointing out to him a few of his mistakes. He was, as usual, believing that he was doing things right, so he was quite defensive and telling me that no, he's saying it right, and I was trying to point out where he was going wrong. And one of the words that I'd pointed out that he was saying wrong was the Gaelic word Deja, which is a city in the north of Ireland, known as Londonderry. We always knew it as kids. There was a little rhyme. Londonderry, Cork and Kerry, spell me that without a K, we were told as kids. And the answer to the little riddle was T-H-A-T. Spell me that without a K. But I am aware that there was then a kind of a campaign when I was young. Maybe people would pick on me for saying the word Londonderry and say, oh, you can't say that. So I don't know what to call it. I learned to say Londonderry when I was young because I believe the city was built by people mostly from London. And of course, this word Deja, this is not part of what I'm trying to say, but Deja means an oak wood, an oak land. So I believe Londoners, I might be wrong, but what I understood as a child was that London people found this oak wood and built a town which became a city on it. So they kind of decided they would mix the names of their London origins and the local Gaelic name of the place, which meant Oakwood. Now, that's kind of irrelevant to the thing, but I'm just trying to fend off any hate for calling the city by what I believe is its rightful original name as a city or as a town. So that's Londonderry. In Gaelic, we don't generally use the London part. I wouldn't be against doing it, but in Gaelic, the town should be pronounced. Well, let me build up to this. Sorry I'm getting so deep into this, but my main point here is that two languages don't always have the same overlap of their phonemes. In fact, they probably almost never do. For example, let's take a place in the Spanish-speaking world. For example, Cuba. Now, to say the word Cuba in Spanish, you don't say Cuba. If you used to say Cuba when you're speaking Spanish, people wouldn't know what you're talking about. It just would sound weird. When you're speaking Spanish, you within the Spanish context, you should use the Spanish pronunciation. Now, is that simple? It is simple, but it's not straightforward, because there is more or less one phoneme for each part of the word in Spanish, but heard by ears from a different language, we hear different phonemes. Let me give you an example. The Spanish word for Cuba is said as follows: Cuba, Cuba, Cuba. That's all the same sound in Spanish, that second consonant. To an English-speaking ear or many other languages, I've said 3 different phonemes. So you kind of go, which one is it? Well, the thing is, it's got to be ones that fall within that phonemic terrain. That when a Spanish speaker is speaking Spanish and hears it, it's got to sound like that sound, which in the English language is actually 3, or sometimes maybe more different phonemes. Cuba, Cuba, Cuba. We can hear 3 different sounds there. But you can't say Cupa. If you say Cupa, then you're outside that phonemic terrain of that, what in Spanish is a B, and it pretty much corresponds to an English B, but not completely by any means. The same thing happens with that Gaelic word, Deja. In Gaelic, it's all one phoneme, but I'm going to say how this phoneme can vary within Gaelic, still being the same phoneme, but it sounds like different phonemes within English, or from maybe many other languages. So let me give you a couple of examples, because he asked me to do a breakdown on how to say this word. Dan did. Hopefully this will help. I show a finger for each version I'm doing. Remember, these are all the same sound in Gaelic, all the same phoneme. They barely sound different at all. Just like the versions Cuba, Cuba, Cuba don't sound different to a Spanish ear, but they sound different to an English ear. These now will sound different to an English ear, don't sound different to a Gaelic ear because it's the same thing. Deja, 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 Deja. That's all the same sound in Gaelic. Might sound different to us, so that's why people can discuss, and they do discuss how, for example, that it is usually the biggest point of contention as well in Gaelic pronunciation, the slender R. I don't know why. It's easy. Just pronounce the same sound you make, for example, when you're saying, for example, a French J, déjà vu, déjà. That's perfectly within the phonemic field of the slender R. I don't know if I've covered all the sounds. I'll have another go again. Maybe they'll coincide, or maybe another one will crop up. Deja, 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 Deja. I don't know if they're different. I was kind of listening in Gaelic, so they kind of all sound the same to me when I've got my Gaelic ears turned on. For example, another example in Spanish, for example, because the thing is, I feel bad, I feel sorry, I feel, what's the word, empathetic towards these students who are trying to learn Gaelic, and they're coming up against all these false sounds. Because I remember it happened a couple of times, for example, when I was learning French and when I was learning Spanish, and somebody assuring me of a sound being correct, and then it turned out it wasn't, could knock me back for days, weeks, months in my learning how to speak Spanish correctly, or French, or whatever it was. Luckily, it's the exception if you're learning Spanish. 99% of the time, the information you get is correct. Spanish speakers who know how to speak the language, and if they don't know how, they will tell you. Like sometimes you might learn from a person who's not a native Spanish speaker, and they'll say, don't quote me on this, but I believe it's pronounced like that. At least then you're aware. And that's all I ask of these teachers of Gaelic. Please inform your students that you're not 100% sure of these sounds. But people, most of them, for example, Dan, it seems to me he's assuring the students that this is how you say it. And the way he pronounced that town, what I call Deja, he said, Dara. You've got, actually, not just, you've got the slender R pronounced wrong, you've got the broad D pronounced quite slender. Dara, Dara, should be deja. I'm trying to not labour that point too much, but I suppose it has to be driven home as well. So let's take another example from Spanish, another place name in Spanish that sounds to an English-speaking ear that there are many different pronunciations, whereas within a Spanish context, it's the same phoneme. The capital of, I'm not sure, I believe it's the capital of Colombia, certainly a Colombian city because I've got friends from there. I call it, when I'm speaking English, Medellin. And I get a bit of flack for that. But when I'm speaking English, I tend to use the most natural, easy to me English pronunciation. That comes to me. And I refuse to be obliged to say the name of a foreign city in the actual language of that country, because I may not speak it. And even if I do speak it, when I'm speaking English, I'm going to say Medellin. I've got friends from Medellin. Okay? Deal with it. Same with the capital of China will always be for me Peking. When I was a young man, people started changing the pronunciation, believing they were pronouncing it closer to how the locals pronounce it. Actually, I believe it was the city council of Peking that made an order telling English speakers how to pronounce their city when we're speaking English. But of course, they didn't give this as an edict, a word they sent out an edict to all English speakers. You must pronounce our Chinese city in this way when you speak in your language, English. But they didn't tell the French or the Spanish speakers or the German speakers, I presume. Only they told English speakers, you must pronounce it from now on. And they said this word that everybody says it's daft. Kind of a different issue. But going back to Medellin, which I call it, when I'm speaking in English. Of course, when I'm speaking in Spanish, I say it in Spanish when I'm within a Spanish conversation. And I think it's not fair to expect me to pronounce it when I'm speaking English in Spanish. By the same token, when I'm speaking Spanish, I believe there is a kind of an obligation, if I want to be speaking correctly, to speak it as it's spoken within the Spanish phonemic system. And let me tell you how that is pronounced. And I'm going to say the word a few times, which sound pretty much the same in Spanish, and they sound maybe different to English ears. What I mean is the phonemes do not overlap in English words. They completely do in Spanish. Medellin, 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 Medellin. And there's more. That's all the same sound in Spanish. But if you're listening with English ears, you can hear, I think, 4 different phonemes, and there's probably more. What's my point with all this? So therefore, when you're talking about Londonderry in Gaelic, you should pronounce it with its Gaelic phonemes, and if you're teaching it, certainly you should. And those, for you, Dan, that way to say it, which of course sounds different if you're listening with your English ears, it's all the same in Gaelic. Deja, 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 Deja. I'm not sure if, again, I was kind of hearing it in Gaelic again, so I don't know if I've differentiated them enough. Deja, 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 Deja. Anyway, that's how I say it. But never Dara. Because Dara, I don't know if Dara, is that slender or broad? That D is kind of somewhere, it's reaching that fine line between broad and slender because it's an English D. So it's not quite broad. It's kind of slender, but more to a Munster speaker's ear. So that's my bit for now. How to say the town of Londonderry or Derry, whichever you want to call it. I don't want to get involved in that. As I say, traditionally, me and everybody I knew when I was a child called it Londonderry because we were told that was the correct name. Okay, if you want to call it Derry, fine. But in English, please, in Gaelic, please don't say Dara. She anam na carach sin in Gaeilge no Deja. A tanyam is a chahishan Gaelic na Deja. And whatever other accent you want to use. I hope I've covered everything. Maybe I don't know if I've gone off the subject too much there, maybe forgotten what I meant to say. But yeah, my point is, when you speak a language, you should use the correct phonemes within that language. And when you don't speak that language, or when you're not speaking that language, I don't think anyone should force me to use a German pronunciation when I'm speaking about a German city, Munich or Berlin or whatever like that, or even other people's names. I don't think it's fair to expect me to adapt my English to, for example, here's another one that kind of drives me up the wall. The Spanish national dish for me is called paella, yeah? And when I'm speaking English, I always call it paella because that's what I've always heard. But you have people coming over here to Spain, and I've met many of them, and they don't generally, a lot of them, for example, English speakers, a lot of them might not learn Spanish, but they get this daft idea of pronouncing certain words according to what they think is the way it's said in Spanish, but they don't learn the Spanish enough to say it right. So they're neither saying it in English nor in Spanish. And you find so many people who've been living here, and once they've been here for a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks, they start pronouncing the stuff that they've always pronounced differently, thinking they're pronouncing in Spanish. And that's one good example. They hear the Spanish saying the word for paella in Spanish, which is paella. Vamos a comernos una paella. La paella. Of course, there's many different ways. It's the same thing as meddling. Paella, paella. And when they hear the Spanish saying it, the people who live here decide, I'm going to start pronouncing things like they did with Peking City. Let's pronounce it like the locals do. When people nowadays say that modern version of for Peking, it doesn't sound like the Chinese. The Chinese still laugh at anybody who says it, I'm sure. No way you're going to get the tones right unless you're a fluent speaker of Chinese. So why bother? Why not just leave it as Peking, as the Spanish still call it, for example, their version of Peking. Anyway, that's maybe a rant for another day. But this one, paella. So people come over here and they start saying, they can hear the Spanish saying, El domingo habrá una gran paella en la Plaza Mayor. And they can hear this word paella. And of course, according to English phonemes, the closest approximation when speaking normally would be paella. So instead of saying paella, which everybody understands when we're speaking English, they start saying paella. Nobody knows what paella is. For me, paella, that's kind of, it's a funeral fire, right? When you hear somebody, especially from maybe in most parts of England, they say, a paella, we're going for a paella. I'm thinking, you're going for a funeral fire. Do you know what I'm saying? Now, if the Spanish were to listen to Spanish, when you're speaking Spanish, I don't care what you call it in another language. I don't care what you call anything to do with me when you're speaking your own language. I don't care what, for example, German people who are speaking German call potatoes and cabbage. Call it what they want. Because I'm not involved in the conversation. And if they say it in German, all the better. But if the Spanish did care, they would hear these people, English speakers, saying, paella. Paella doesn't mean paella anymore. It now means, paella means non-gypsy woman. That's what the sound paella. Instead of paella, which means a paella, the yellow rice dish. Very nice food. But then to call it a paella means nothing in English. And if the Spanish gave a damn, it means a non-gypsy woman. Una paella. So I don't know what my point is with that one. I'm just saying it's all ridiculous to expect someone to say something according to the phonemes of a different language when speaking one language, okay? I would be interested to know what Anne Loingsiege thinks of all this. Anne Loingsiege, who does some cracking videos. He goes off on tangents and we love it. Of course, he's a lot more skillful and expert and knowledgeable on these subjects than me, but we've all got our little piece to throw into the pot. So that's my bit. Dan, Deja, Deja, Deja. Take your pick. Anything please but Dara. Folks, have a great day, night, evening, morning, whatever you're doing. And be gentle with my